Have you ever looked around at your life? The achievements, the accolades, maybe the house, the car, the career, and felt this nagging emptiness asking, is this it? Shouldn't I feel more fulfilled by now? If you're nodding your head, this video is specifically for you. The high achiever who's done everything right according to society's playbook, yet something still feels off. Here's what's fascinating. Most people would look at your life and think you've got it all figured out. But inside, you might be running survival programs on overdrive, pushing, striving, and exhausting yourself trying to feel enough. It's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because success without sovereignty is just a sophisticated form of survival. By the end of this video, you'll understand the specific survival patterns that keep even the most successful people feeling trapped. More importantly, you'll learn how to spot these patterns in yourself, because awareness is the first step toward genuine freedom. This isn't about adding more to your plate or giving you another self-improvement project. It's about gently recognizing when you're caught in old programs so that you can make different choices. I promise, what I'm about to share transformed my relationship with success and self-worth, and it can do the same for you. For those of you who don't know me, I spent decades trapped in the same survival patterns I'm going to show you today. On paper, I had achieved many things society told me would bring fulfillment, but inside, I was exhausted from constantly trying to prove my worth. I'm not a psychologist or a guru with all the answers. I'm simply someone who lived in survival mode for far too long before finally discovering what was keeping me stuck and finding a gentler way forward. Let me share something personal. In my late 50s, I found myself still struggling with the same money issues I'd had my entire life, despite doing everything I thought I should do. Like many of you, I grew up with a clear prescription for success. Get good grades, finish college, land a secure job at a respected company that would take care of me for life. This blueprint worked perfectly for my father's generation, but my experience was entirely different. My pivotal moment came unexpectedly. I was sitting in a coffee shop in Provincetown, Massachusetts, overhearing a conversation that suddenly made everything click. After years of reading books about money mindset, listening to expert advice, trying to fix myself, I realized I had been living my entire life according to a blueprint that wasn't designed for me or for the world we live in today. I wasn't failing at following the right path. I was succeeding at following the wrong one. All those years, I believed something was wrong with me when I couldn't make the traditional path work. The truth was, I was trying to force myself into a system that no longer existed. There's no such thing as job security anymore. That realization was both heartbreaking and liberating. I discovered that the issue wasn't my abilities to succeed. It was that I was measuring success by standards that weren't authentic to who I really am. Now, you might be thinking, that's a nice story, but why does this matter to me? Here's why. Survival patterns are exhausting. They keep you constantly striving, yet never arriving. They create a disconnect between your external achievements and your internal experience. These patterns show up in subtle ways. You achieve a goal, but immediately move on to the next without celebration. You dismiss your accomplishments as not enough, or anyone could do that. You feel like an imposter, despite evidence of your competence. You're constantly comparing yourself to others who seem to have it figured out. You believe if you just work harder, achieve more, or become better, then you'll finally feel secure. The cost of staying in these patterns isn't just emotional. It affects your relationships, your health, and ultimately prevents you from making your greatest contribution to the world. Because when you're operating from survival, you can't access your full creativity, wisdom, and power. So how do we begin shifting from survival to sovereignty? I've broken it down into 3 steps that changed everything for me. Step 1, recognize the survival patterns when they arise. The first step is simply awareness. Notice when you're operating from one of these core survival patterns. The pattern of lack, believing there's never enough time, money, recognition, or support. This drives constant hustle without satisfaction. The pattern of blame, either blaming yourself, I'm not good enough, or blaming others and circumstances, if only my boss recognized my value. Both keep you stuck in victim mode. The pattern of self-abandonment, dismissing your own needs, desires, and wisdom to conform to external expectations of who you should be. The key is to catch yourself in these patterns without judgment. Just notice, there's the lack pattern again, or I'm blaming myself right now. That awareness alone begins to create space. Step 2, question the beliefs that fuel these patterns. Once you've recognized a pattern, gently ask yourself, is this belief actually true, or is it something I've been conditioned to believe? Who would I be without this story? What if the opposite were true? For me, questioning the belief that success comes only through the traditional path opened up possibilities I couldn't see before. I realized I didn't know anything about what real success meant for me. And that meant I could start completely fresh. Step 3, create a new relationship with success and self-worth. This is where real transformation happens. Instead of defining success by external metrics, you begin to define it by how aligned you feel with your authentic self, the quality of your relationships and connections, your ability to be present and engaged with your life, the impact you have through simply being who you are. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice of continually returning to your inner wisdom rather than external validation. In my next video, I'll explore how to regulate your nervous system as you become more aware of these patterns. Because here's the truth. Increased self-awareness often brings increased sensitivity, and I'll show you gentle, embodied techniques to soothe your system so this healing journey becomes sustainable, not overwhelming. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which survival pattern do you recognize most strongly in yourself? The pattern of lack, blame, or self-abandonment? Or some other pattern? Sharing your insights not only helps you gain clarity, but supports others on this journey too. Remember, you're not broken and you don't need fixing. You're simply caught in patterns that once helped you survive, but are no longer serving your evolution. The journey from survival to sovereignty begins with this simple awareness. Thank you for being here. Until next time.